Good morning and welcome to another Monday morning. I'm your host, Myles Biggs, and we're here for another live stream, live on Facebook, on LinkedIn, and on YouTube. So wherever you're tuning in, thank you for tuning in. And be sure to drop us a comment, let us know you're here, say hello, bring a question for our guest, which you'll meet shortly, and we'll have some fun and interact with each other here. As a reminder, with those comments, you can be seen in the stream just like this example. All you have to do, say hello wherever you're tuning in from. As a reminder, we do this every Monday at 7:30 a.m. Eastern. Sorry, West Coast friends, you have to catch the replay unless you're up very early. And you can also check out my podcast, Relish the Journey, wherever you listen to podcasts. Like I've said on here before, it was recently named a top 15 podcast of 2020. So go and check that out. It's pretty cool. So today, as always, we're going to bring some good news stories to you all. A good news story for all of us, right? At least the election's finally over and that mental anxiety is lifted, whether you agree with the outcome or not. We can all exhale there. But today, instead of me bringing you the good news, my guest is bringing us some good news stories, and we'll get to that shortly. Of course, you'll have my corny dad jokes to get you laughing or cringing this morning. And then we'll end, as we always do, with some weekly resources to help you throughout the week and a weekly challenge to also keep you motivated throughout the week. So that is our agenda for today, and we're going to bring in our guest. So I met this gentleman, I know when I was in college up in Williamsport, but again, most recently during everything for the TEDx event I did. He was a fellow speaker, and we got to meet and network that way, stayed in touch, and he's doing a lot of really great things. So without further ado, let's welcome Mr. Ron Frick, who is the president and CEO of the Lycoming County United Way. Bring him in from the green room. There he is. Good morning, Ron.
Hey, good morning, Myles.
Thank you for waking up early. Although you said before we went live, you've been up for what, 4 hours already or something crazy. So
I like to get started early.
So, like I said, Ron, we met TEDx again most recently. I'd love to hear from you and your perspective on that event, because everyone keeps asking me what it was like for me, what I thought about giving the speech, why I wanted to do it, those sorts of things. So I get to ask you those questions now. What was it like for you to be a TEDx speaker? What did you think of the event during COVID? All of those things.
Well, I think most of us were disappointed by the fact that we weren't able to do it earlier in the year. We were originally scheduled for April, and COVID came and postponed us. So it was interesting to do it outside. So a little more prep time to be ready to do it. But it's, it was one of those things that was on my bucket list of things to do for our community and share, in my case, the power of community. Got a chance to hear great things from you and other speakers. So I thought it was a great event. I think, I think it's something different. It's something unique for our community. Not every community gets to do it. So I was honored to be asked to be a part of it. I was a little bummed that I decided to go first, because I got to hear all the good stuff after me. But so,
see, I was excited to go. You were first, I was second, and I was so excited to be that, like in the beginning of the program, because then I could just exhale. So that's the way I was looking at it. Like I could just get it out of the way and relax and not watch, but also not really be able to listen because I'm inside rehearsing my stuff still. So What do you think about speaking, and then you look out to a masked crowd?
Yeah, that was kind of interesting, because you really can't see reactions. So you don't know. It's a little uncomfortable, just not knowing what people are. You could kind of see people up close for smiling. I mean, my friend Emily, who was one of the organizers, was there, so it was kind of nice to have somebody up front that I knew, and a fellow board member of ours. So it was that was comforting, but it's a different experience for sure.
Yeah, it was. It felt like I was speaking to like mannequins, right? Everybody's just sitting there. You're counting on like an eyebrow raise or a head nod, because that's all you really get. Yeah. Well, cool. All right, Ron, ready? Get ready to laugh or cringe. We're going to get into our good news stories, but first, I tell my corny jokes.
Go for it.
So I got one for you. Okay. Have you heard about the judge who left his job to become a public speaking instructor? He progressed from reading sentences to entire paragraphs. And that's about to happen again every time. The smirk, like, okay.
Yeah, okay.
Wah, wah, wah. All right, so I got my silly dad joke out of the way. let's talk about some good news. And I appreciate you sending me everything you did. You did my show prep for me, which was cool. So first, we're going to talk about Socktober. And this is something that the Lycoming County United Way did in October. So why don't you tell us about it? What is Socktober? What was the thought process behind starting the event? What was the outcome? Bring us some good news.
Yeah, so my friend Anna Radspinner, who's a string teacher in the Williamsport Area School District at Andrew Curtin Intermediate School, has been doing this for about 7 years. And so they collect socks for the entire month of October, and build big piles. And you can see the picture there from the newspaper. And so because of COVID and because of kids in hybrid kind of situations in school, they weren't able to actually collect the socks this year. So she approached me and she said, would you be able to collect money and then give it to the organizations that we typically support? There are 5 organizations in the community that typically get socks. 4 of the 5 are already partners of ours for United Way things that we do all year long, mostly homeless providers, but some feeding programs. And so we said, yeah, sure, let's try to do it. So we launched it the last week in October, and we're going to run it through the entire month of November, which is Homeless Awareness Month. And hopefully we'll get some donors to make some gifts, and we'll be able to distribute that equally among those partners.
That's awesome. And so people watching this, if they want to donate, how do they do that?
Yeah, so you can just go to the United Way website, www.lcuw.org, and then /Socktober, and it'll take you right to a landing page. You can make a gift. It'll come to us, and then at the end of the process, we'll distribute those funds to the community, probably beginning in December.
Nice. And so this is specific to Lycoming County United Way, or is this something that's like a United Way effort across the country?
Yeah, no, this is the first year we've actually done it with Anna. It's a school project that she and her kids came up with, and it was just really difficult. She was really bummed when she called me and said, I just can't, we can't figure out a way to do this logistically because we can't get socks coming into the school, and half the kids aren't here at that point in time. So it was really just a way for us to partner with another community organization. We love the fact that kids are involved. They're the next generation of leaders, and so anytime kids want to raise money or do something fun and help out, their fellow man, so to speak, we're more than willing to do it. So brand new for us this year. So we'll see.
I love those stories where it's a teenager that's kind of cuts through the BS that us adults put in front of things and just gets to the heart of, helping your fellow man. And
yeah, so these are intermediate school kids. So they're, 12, 13-year-old kids. That's
great. Yeah. A good reminder for all of us that they have to remind us of our 12-year-old self and the way we live in the world. I love that. So Socktober rolls right into cardboard stories, which I thought this was really interesting. When you sent me the press release and I found this article and read it, but I'd love to hear it from you. Tell us about cardboard stories.
Sure. Yeah. So this was an idea that came from one of our partners, Angelique Labate over at Sojourner Truth Ministries. We help them with their feeding program on an annual basis. And she had seen this on the internet. And she said, this is kind of a cool thing. Let's figure out a way to put a new face on homelessness and tell stories using pieces of cardboard. And so we did, I think, 20 some interviews with folks that were either volunteers or participants in her program. And then we also included folks from the YWCA here in Williamsport, and also the folks at Sojourner. We had some gentlemen that joined us from American Rescue Workers. And so we interviewed them, we told their stories, and then we put a little video together, about a little under 2-minute video, and then a teaser video that we put out on social media and on Comcast. You'll see it on a number of television spots, a 30-second spot that's out there running right now. So it's a really unique idea. We did it because it's Homeless Awareness Month, and it gives us an opportunity to share, what's going on. What do homeless folks really go through? What are their stories, as opposed to, what you might see on television? Because it's different in every community. Homelessness looks different in Lycoming County than it does in Philadelphia or Chicago, for example.
Right. Yeah, I know I've read stat after stat about how a majority of homeless people are veterans, and people like that, where you feel like this person's always been homeless, right? There's that stigma, but there's a story there, and they haven't always been there. They're on hard times, and so it's
And our hope is this is the lead into the month. Our hope is that later in the month we'll be telling because we had some audio that came along with it. So this is just the video part of it, but we'll do some audio later in the month and actually have folks tell their stories. There's some really powerful stories of people and what they're doing with their lives as a result of us helping to fund some of these programs in the community that help folks, get back on their feet.
That's great. Yeah, I don't know if that's where you're going with it, but an idea that pops in my head as a podcaster is there's a podcast there, right? Cardboard Stories can for sure be a podcast. Keep spreading the awareness.
Absolutely.
So then that brings us to the third good news story. You're full of them, Ron. Is World Kindness Day coming up on this Friday the 13th. So is that a coincidence, by the way? Friday the 13th, taking the bad luck and the be kind?
No, no coincidence at all. It just happens to be the day that it falls on nationally. So this is kind of a national program that we picked up on, and we thought, this is it's right in the middle of Homeless Awareness Month. So there's things that we can do around homeless awareness that we thought were kind of cool. And one of my staff members, Melissa McHale, approached me with the idea and said, what if we did something on World Kindness Day? If we just wrote some notes to people that are in the shelters, that are in the feeding programs, that are sort of down in their luck, just notes of encouragement. And so last Thursday, after we launched Cardboard Stories, we got a bunch of folks together in a room, and we hand wrote cards. Whitney Halderman made the cards. They're all hand printed cards. We wrote little notes on the inside of them, and we're going to deliver those to shelters and folks in the community that might just need a little bit of a lift on World Kindness Day. And then the other thing we're doing is with 4 local coffee shops, local small businesses in our community. We're going to be buying coffee at those places, and so you show up at Alabaster Coffee, as an example, in Williamsport here. You show up at Alabaster, and you're going to get a free cup of coffee, compliments of a sponsorship with UPMC. And the United Way, and then on the back are the listings of all of our partners that are participating in Homeless Awareness Month. So a way to show a little more about the awareness of the month, but also, just a way to get back to our community. These guys are, they've been open and struggling through this COVID-19 pandemic that we're living through, and so we thought, this is a great way just to do a little bit, give back. We had a sponsor. Allows us to give a little bit back to the community and make people happy, during the day on the 13th. So we'll see how long it lasts. We've got a couple hundred hours that'll go to each of those coffee shops. So it's Alabaster, it's the Sawhorse Cafe here right around Lycoming College here in Williamsport. Way Cool Beans, which is down in the Pajama Factory, right across from where Myles and I got to speak a couple of weeks ago. And the last one is the Backhouse Cafe, which is on the corner of 4th and Maynard Street, right across from the Historic Museum. Really cool place that we frequent quite a bit. So we're gonna help out some businesses and just be nice on World Kindness Day.
That's awesome. Yeah, just be nice, right? How's that for a call to action? It's sad that we need that reminder, but
we thought the timing was really good.
Yeah, how about it? And it is funny how just getting a free cup of coffee can be such an uplifting experience. On Halloween, my wife and I went to Pittsburgh to visit the in-laws and my in-laws, her parents. And on the way back, we stopped at Cheese to get gas. I ran inside. I wanted a cup of coffee, and my wife wanted a hot chocolate. So I pick them up. I go to stand in line at the cash register, and they're like, "Is that all you're getting?" I said, "Yeah." They're like, "Just go." And I was like, "Wait, what's at that moment of confusion? Like, wait, what?" Like, "Yeah, you're fine. Sheets loves you," is what they said. I was like, "Well, I love you guys. Thank you." And, it was like $3. Like, I was going to pay anyway, but it just makes you feel like, this is awesome. I'm going to have a great day today when you get that just sort of pat on the shoulder metaphorically through a free cup of coffee.
Well, and and the hope that we have is that, there's guys like you that are going to take that and they're going to, they're going to turn around and buy another cup of coffee. So, our hope is that someone's going to walk up there and get a free cup of coffee and think, there's a guy across the street that might need a cup of coffee that I just got for free, and I'll just pay it forward. It's happened to me once or twice at a Dunkin' Donuts or a Sheetz where somebody just walks up and buys your coffee, and it just makes you smile. It makes you feel like there's really a lot of goodness going on in the world out there, and you get to be a part of it, so we're hoping people will pay it forward a little bit too.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So I'm going to give you a quick PSA here just for the United Way in general, because when I started this live stream, mainly I was just starting it to get comfortable with live streaming before I start getting into some other shows I have planned around my TED Talk and book and stuff. So this is a way for me to kind of work out the cobwebs doing this Monday morning with Myles. So, but I asked people, hey, what do you want? If I'm going to be bugging you at 7:30 in the morning, what do you want to hear about? And everybody said just good news stories about people doing good things or companies doing good things. And the United Way is it's like a twofer, right? You guys are people and an organization doing good things. So if folks watching aren't quite familiar with United Way or how to locate one in their area to get involved, can you tell us a little bit about what the United Way's mission is? How can people find their local chapters, if that's the right word for it, and get involved?
Sure. So, the United Way is an international organization. It's the largest privately funded nonprofit in the world. And the key to that is privately funded. So, your listeners and you and I are the ones that are really, digging into our pockets and supporting the organization. Every local chapter or affiliate is different. And the beauty of it is we have an international organization that supports us locally. So we're able to deliver services and programs in the communities based on what the community needs are. So, in our case, it might look different from the Greater Susquehanna Valley United Way, which is headquartered down in Sunbury, and it might look different from my friends over in Columbia and Montour County. So every United Way looks a little bit differently. Our goal is to mobilize resources in the community to change lives. And so, we work with 23 different community partners and 36 different programs in 3 different counties. So in Lycoming County, which is where a majority of our base is, you'll see organizations like the American Rescue Workers and the YWCA. We do some work with Diacon Family Services and North Central Site Services. So, and then up in Tioga County, a little bit different, right? We have a 4-H chapter that we fund both in Tioga and Sullivan County. And in Sullivan County, it's the most active 4-H chapter in the Commonwealth. So, in that market, we're doing the library, we're doing a dental program, we're doing 4-H. We're not doing probably any of those things in Williamsport because we think the needs are different. So, we're basically working in health, education, and financial stability. And then basic needs. So we work with the Central Pennsylvania Food Bank and homeless providers that we've talked about a little bit this morning, to really stand up the community. So we tell everybody we fight for the health, education, and financial stability of every person in every community. And again, that looks different in every community. So we raise money all year round. We're in the midst of it right now. We'll raise about $1 million a year in all 3 counties. And we allocate that out, with community panels, basically folks in the community that sit down and decide based on grant application who really gets the money. And so it's a very accountable process. People trust the United Way. It's been around for over 125 years. And in Lycoming County, almost 100 years. We'll celebrate our 100th anniversary in 2022. So we're coming up on that pretty quickly. But been here for a long time. We're here through COVID. We worked with the First Community Foundation Partnership of Pennsylvania to stand up COVID funds. We invested about $100,000 of our funds into that and helped 101 different nonprofits in 9 different counties in North Central Pennsylvania. So we're pretty proud of the work that we're doing. And so folks can get involved. Just contact your local United Way. You can Google it, right? That's what everybody does now. Just Google United Way, and it'll take you to United Way Worldwide. You can put your zip code in. It'll take you to your local United Way. So, just in our area, we have a really good working relationship regionally with friends in Bradford County and Clinton County, and then Greater Susquehanna Valley and Columbia and Montour. So we work together quite a bit on various projects and needs in all of our communities that sort of cross boundaries. So
that's awesome. I didn't realize it was that old, right? Especially that's great. And that's a lot of money too. $1 million a year. That's significant. Yeah. And that comes from individuals. A lot of it comes from workplace campaigns. So we have a lot of really strong corporate partners. I mentioned UPMC as a sponsor for World Kindness Day. They're very active. Their employees all participate in our
in our annual campaign, and give through payroll deduction and credit cards and all kinds of ways. We have lots of ways to give. You can visit that same website I gave you at the beginning of the broadcast, lcuw.org. You can text, for those of you who are cooler than me, you can text your gift you can just text the word Live United to 50155, and it'll give you a little credit card processing form, and you can make your gift that way. And then, we have a really strong media group. We have lots of partners in the community that support us. You'll see the media, the Sun Gazette, for example, is very supportive. North Central PA, which is a digital organization that works with us pretty closely. Outdoor advertising with our friends at Lamar, the radio stations. Awesome group of friends that really just help us to get the word out. And now we have a new friend, with you, with this kind of a digital engagement, which is, it's just great to have a conversation, even if it is early on a Monday morning.
Yeah, well, that's what's great. The live is early in the morning, Monday morning, but this will live forever online, and so people can find it and hopefully text this number. Did I get that right? Live United to 50155.
Yep, you got it. Yep. Awesome. Yes, sir. Perfect.
Great. Well, I appreciate you again coming up, waking up early, and sharing the good news. It was fun for me. I hope it was fun for you.
Yeah, it was. So listen, congratulations. I forgot to mention this before. Congratulations on the new book. I know you got a book coming out. I know you talked about it at TEDx. So I got a little bit of preview about unseen work. So just congratulations on that. Not only are you busy doing all this, but you're also writing books. So good for you.
Thank you. Yeah, and it's a great segue, Ron. You gave me my segue to a weekly resource and challenge for the week. It's a twofer, and it's to check out my book. It's a resource, and I challenge you to check it out. Like Ron said, this was based on my TED Talk. I can pull it up here. It's for sale on Amazon. And so it's pretty, I'm still processing this, right? To see my name and my smiling mug there as an author, and just saying that phrase, I am an author, out loud. But it's very exciting. It's been about 1.5 years of my own unseen work to produce the book Unseen Work. And I really do believe in the message and the idea that we all have to do the unseen work so that when we are seen, we have something to show for it. And we're all living this kind of unseen year in 2020. So I think this book could help a lot of people process where they're at right now in their life and where to go next. So
it's the perfect title when you think about this year. There's no straight lines this year.
No, there's not. There's not. So I'm not going to go into crazy detail about this now. This live stream is not about me, but I will say to join me on this Friday, November 13th, on World Kindness Day. I didn't know that before we started talking this weekend. For about around 5 p.m., I'm going to do a virtual launch party. So that's where I'm going to get into all the questions I've been getting about the book, just kind of giving you all the behind the scenes of the process it took me to write it, answer your questions that have been submitted to me, answer questions that are submitted live. And I'm also going to be raffling off a couple signed copies of the book. So if you guys are watching now, tune in right where you're watching this stream. Tune in here again on Friday at 5. I'll be posting event details throughout the week for more information there. And that's all I got for you this week, everybody. I hope you crush it, like I always say. Live your week positively, and hopefully all the good news from Ron here in Lycoming County United Way inspires you to spread that, even though it's not World Kindness Day to the Friday the 13th. It could be World Kindness Day every day. So, Ron, thank you again.
Thank you. Yeah, it's great.